Check, check. 1, 2.
Come on. Hey. 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 Come on. Hey.
All right. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of the Kirby Krackle Quarantinecast here from Kirby Krackle HQ. I'm your host, Kirby Krackle. Wait, that's not my real name. My name is Kyle. I'm going to get a t-shirt that says my name isn't Kirby in the near future. There's 25 of you here. Oh my gosh. Thank you for being here. Let me turn this music off here. We're still getting used to this. This is only episode 3. Of course, we had Grandma Krackle, who was here the last time. And we also did a songwriting session the time before that. So that was really fun. Got a song out of that with a ukulele ditty I had been writing. And we spent let's say 45 minutes, all of us, just basically throwing ideas back and forth, throwing lyrics back and forth, and that was really fun. So we have a very special show for you today, episode 3, getting used to this business here. We have my first interview with someone who's not 95 years old, and that would be Mr. Aaron Crawford, the founder and pioneer of Cascade Country here in the Pacific Northwest. A newer friend in the past year and a half, but I heard about him for a long time before that. And we have a mutual drummer in Jeff Gall, Kirby Krackle drummer Jeff Gall. He helps Aaron out from time to time. We're going to see him in a little bit here and talk to him about all good things. I have a comments and reactions page here. If you want to write some comments, please do. I might take me a while to see them though, because there's something with eCam and latency with comments getting in. So just give a thumbs up. Let me know if you guys are hearing it. If it sounds okay where you are, that would be awesome. If you're on Twitter or Facebook, the Kirby Krackle page, or on YouTube, thank you for watching. So, quarantine. Oh my Lord. Quarantine. Josephine quarantine. It is my 38th day here in this business, and a little less angry about it lately. Feeling a little better about it. I think I just live here. This is where I'm going to spend the rest of my life, in my house. But I've got you guys, so that's fine too. Peaky Blinders drip. Hey, Ruben Etienne's Peaky Blinders. There's switchblades right in here. You can't really see them, but they're in there. Tommy, we gotta get the club back. That's horrible. That's Arthur. So we're talking about everything here today with Mr. Aaron Crawford. First of all, how are you guys doing? Let me know how you're doing in the reactions. Are you doing okay? It's okay if you're not doing okay. Are you staying somewhat sane? The little bit of sanity that we have during this time, I think, is very appropriate if you have a little bit left. Let me see here. We got 25 people in here. Thank you so much. Got some comics I'm catching up on today. Wednesday is the one dad. I'm the one dad, I hope. Wednesday is the one day I'm not doing full-time dad care. So recorded a lot today. Got this all set up, ready to rock it. Gonna get my kind of faux Jimmy Fallon on. Do we have a studio applause out there? Let me hear. There we go. I love that. That's why I paid for this. I just sit all day and just press the applause button. It makes me feel better about myself. So we're going to talk to Aaron. First, we're going to talk about some things that are happening in Kirby Krackle world here. I started working out again. Clap, because no one else is clapping for me. Air horn. Now let me clarify working out. So I've done it twice in the past 2 weeks. And I want to tell this story because it leads into a Kirby Krackle convention story. I downloaded Center at CENTR. That is the Chris Hemsworth, aka Thor. That's the Chris Hemsworth workout app. It's like $15 a month or something like that if you want to check it out. It's him and his perfect Bondi Beach lifestyle, where everything is grilled on the beach. And he's got all his personal trainers, and his boxer trainer has like a leather eye patch, looks super awesome with cornrows. I saw that. I'm like, I'm sold. I'm never going to box, but I'm going to get this. And so you can do that once in a while, like say maybe once every 2 weeks and feel like a boxer. Then I did this, and it's pretty hard, but it's pretty cool. The interface is great, and there's like teach you how to do Pilates and do a little bit of weights if you want to do weights, and now they're gearing stuff to how it looks for if you're working out at home. So that's awesome. And it reminded me of my Chris Hemsworth story from 2017 when we were at Supernova in Australia. Okay, so Chris Hemsworth was there for one day, run by the wonderful Daniel and his crew, Sky Bristow, who may be watching right now. An amazing team. It's the one convention I go to where they treat nerd rock scrubs like myself and voice actors and everyone I would say maybe is in the not A-list celebrity level as someone at Chris Hemsworth's level. They treat you wonderfully. Everyone gets the same food, you get the same transportation. It's like this rolling mini caravan. And I think I've talked a little bit about Supernova before, but what's really cool about this was like the first time like a Marvel person was coming. So he lives in the area. I think it was in Melbourne where this was. Yeah, he lived close to there. So they're going to have him on for one day. So I was performing on stage with the dudes, and I said, so Chris Hemsworth's coming up next. You might have seen him in a couple movies. Got a bright future ahead of him, just being stupid. And someone told me from the other times I'd been there that American sarcasm doesn't really line up with Aussie sarcasm, and I still haven't really like navigated exactly what that is. But it turned out that no one laughed, and everyone thought I was a dumb asshole and didn't understand who he was. So that fell flat. Anyways, we go back to the break room, and everyone is hanging out there, and he's just sitting there with his arms like this, where one of his arms like the width of my body. And dude's ripped. Okay. So the people who were talking to him were the exact people who you thought would be talking to him and monopolizing that time in the green room, which is all good, right? So we thought, the dudes and I thought we were going to get a picture with him. And so he's sitting there talking, and I'm going to get like some carrots or whatever sandwich, and I go to the craft services line, and I'm there, and I get everything I need to get, and then he's in line, he's blocking the carrots, right, and the vegetables, and so I go, excuse me, man, like that, and he didn't say anything, and I said it again. I said, excuse me, man, great job, you did a good job performing after us, and he didn't say anything. Okay, so I tried to like engage this person, not like a freak. But everyone in the green room was eating, and they went. And they stopped and looked at me to see what I was going to do next. Like, was I going to threesies go for it? Was I going to ask him 3 times? Or say something above, just like, hey, excuse me, excuse me. So, I didn't say it again, and my friends just kind of like looked at me and laughed, like, you loser. And I walked away. And that's my Chris Hemsworth story. I didn't say hi to him. Because I think if I did it for the third time, it wouldn't have been a well-adjusted raise in volume. It would have been like, excuse me! And that wouldn't have been good for anybody. So that's my Chris Hemsworth story. Stood next to him. He was in front of my carrots. God damn it. I didn't meet him. Never to be repeated again. But if I did meet him again, I'd say, hey, do you remember that time you were standing in front of my carrots? And he'd be like, security over here. All right. I miss playing. I'm gonna tell you this for real. I miss playing. The last show I had was Crackle Fest. It was supposed to happen on March 13th, which was 4 years ago. Just this past March 14th is 4 years ago. And I wanted to share something from the last Crackle Fest. Now, I can see your guys' comments here. If you wanted to leave a comment and let me know what your favorite cover of Crackle Fest has been in the 9 years that we've done it. If you've been, you know that we end every Crackle Fest with a big cover fest, whether that's like 80s covers or 90s covers. For this one specifically, I wanted to end it with my favorite genre of music, which is 90s R&B. So we did a medley with the dudes, and we did it with Mr. Schonberg, a.k.a. Word Burglar. Halifax represent! That's why I love him, man. The first time I saw him, he was like, shout out to Halifax! When the founders of of rap, started rap in the 70s and 80s, I didn't think they would think some white dude from Halifax would be representing, but it is amazing, and it's even better. He's amazing, and the Halifax thing is just another level of awesome. So shout out to Sean if you're watching, man. I want to share this thing that we did last year. This is the Crackle Fest 2019 KF9 Encore Medley 90s R&B. Here you go. CJ, drop a load on.
my truck. Never streets cause I'm faded. Homies and the basement, kinda young, we made it. It feels so good in my hood tonight. All the girls and the skirts and the guys that connive. All the gangbangers forgot about the drive-by. You should gotta get your groove on before you go get paid. So pick up your cup and throw your hands up and let me hear the party sing. And I'm counting bars and it's all because this is how we do it. South Central does it like nobody does. This is how we do it. To all the neighbors, you got much flavor. This is how we do it. So never drink back to the old school band. This is how we do it. This is Kirby Krackle. You think we got one more, Don? We got one more? It's St. Patrick's Day tomorrow, isn't it, Don? It's St. Patrick's Day tomorrow, is it? Yes, it is. It is. On Sunday. Jump, 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 jump. Pack it up, pack it in. I came to win. Crackle fast, yo. How you feeling? I won't ever slack up. Then I get a pack up. Try and play the role, yo. The whole crew will act up. Get up, stand up, go on, throw your hands up. If you got the feeling, jump across the ceiling. Vents in the trunk and an amps in the trunk and I'm in the lock. You're busting it out. Yo, amps in the trunk and that's in the trunk and got more rhymes than the cops in a Dunkin'. Donut shop, showing up, I got prop. Kids on the hill to my mama pop. I came to get down, I came to get down. So get out your seat, jump around, jump around, jump around, jump around, up and get down. Jump, 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 everybody jump, jump, everybody jump, 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 everybody jump, 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 everybody jump. I'll serve your ass like Sean McEnroe. If the girl steps up, I'm serving her dinner. Whoa, curve to your mom, I came to drop bombs. I got more rhymes than a bottle's got song. It's just like the prodigal son, I'm returned. Even telling me I get burnt. Cause I got lyrics and you ain't got none. If you're gonna bid it with a shotgun, cause they're not true. I'm from to the death. You try to step to me, you get your last breath. I got the skill to come get your fill. Cause when I shoot, you know I shoot to kill. I came to get down, I came to get down. So get out your seat and jump around. Jump around, jump, jump around. Jump, jump, jump around. Jump, jump, jump up, jump up and get down. Yeah, everybody jump, everybody jump around. Everybody jump around. Jump, everybody jump. Hey, the cream of the crop, I rise to the top. I never read a pig cause a pig is a cop. I'll bet I get a Terminator, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Trying to bat him, but if my name is Sega. But I ain't taking too long to punt. Leave him a sun style, knowing that I might swing it up and around. Get up and get down, take your head. And you're feeling to the down of the dead. I'm coming to get ya, I'm coming to get ya. Sitting out lyrics, homie, I'm with ya. I came to get down, I came to get down. So get out of your seat, jump around, jump around, jump, jump, jump around, jump, jump, jump around, jump, jump, jump around, jump up and get down, jump, 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 everybody jump, 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 everybody jump, 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 everybody jump, 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 everybody jump, everybody jump, everybody jump. Let's put this in better. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you guys very much for coming. Kirby Krackle, Krackle Fest. Give it up for yourself, please. Thank you. The party's...
Oh man, and that was the encore for Crackle Fest 9. Thank you to whoever shot that. I totally forgot to ask someone to do that. And then I don't know who it was. I called my friend Ruben. I was like, Ruben, do you have a copy of that? And he said, no. Or he says he's got to look for it. But he's got like a 5-month-old, 4-month-old. So, we can't do that. But I found that in the archives, and I'm so glad that I did. That was such a fun night, and it took forever to learn those songs. Like what you didn't see there before that was "Return of the Mac" by Mark Morrison, and then "I Wish" by Skee-Lo was on there, which was like the craziest bass line. Like all those songs were so fun just to do because of the bass lines. Like Joe had the best job. So, all right, we have a very special guest right now coming on. I want to show a little bit of his video, though. This is Mr. Aaron Crawford, Seattle's own Cascade country pioneer and founder. And we're going to talk a little bit of how we met and what we're doing and what he's doing and how he's surviving as a musician in our current pandemic climate, dad life, all the things. But first, let me show you a clip of his video here. This is Evergreen from his second record, Mr. Aaron Crawford, Evergreen.
Clothes and an empty tank of gas. I can't count the days that I've been gone. This truck stop life I'm living is getting old real fast, and I've been away from you for far too long. And I've seen the sun rise in Missouri, celebrate in Texas strong, dance like a fool down in New Orleans, and I've sung that Tennessee song. I've kissed a pair of blue eyes in that Rocky Mountain high. But give me evergreen until I die. Need a bonfire underneath the trees and an ice cold PBR. A saltwater breeze and a Pearl Jam song.
All right. Oh, we just got to the part about a Pearl Jam song. I should have kept it going. Let's bring him on here, everyone. Mr. Aaron Crawford. What up, sir?
What's up?
How's it going, dude?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
Doing great. You know, we got Mr. Tyler Crone said, Nerd Rock, Hip Hop, and Country. This website is all over the place musically, and I love it. I'm all over the place musically. I love every kind of music, man. And, you know, I didn't ever have a country friend until I met you. But I'm going to go back a little bit because I heard about you for many years from Jeff Gall, our mutual friend.
Yeah.
Kirby Krackle drummer, your drummer, one of your revolving doors of musicians that you have. And he's like, dude, this guy's like you. Like, he built this thing, but he's like the country version of you. That's what he said.
It's true.
And I was like, oh, well, I dig it. And so it was like, you know, following your stuff and learning about you and became a fan and then met you. And since then, like, you know, we hung out and like work on songs and all the good stuff, all the good times that we've had in the past couple of years. But I was just like, I feel like this guy is of the feeling of working towards something and creating something, like the stuff that I've been trying to do with Kirby Krackle for so long. And I just dug that vibe right off the bat about you, man. So, are you from your house right now? We're broadcasting from your home?
Yeah, from we've got a garage, and when we got this house last year, just about this time, and the guy before us had built in like a motorcycle storage area.
Okay.
You fit like 3 motorcycles side by side, and so I just painted it and put in a leather couch and hung some Zeppelin posters up on the wall, some guitars over that away, and now it's a studio, and so it's unrecognizable.
That's badass. You know, the I love that Led Zeppelin photo behind you. I did a double take though, because I saw one like 3 weeks ago, where someone, or like 3 years ago, excuse me, where someone did this and I did it, where they face swapped the faces.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Like Robert Plant's face was on John Bon. I was like, oh, this is not good.
Oh no, I was thinking maybe like face swap my face in.
I was like, I'll face swap you onto Robert Plant. And it'd just be like sepia tone, and then this landing.
yeah, exactly.
So, dude, you've been doing, you know, for fans of yours that are watching, they know what you're about. Kirby Krackle fans, Nerd Rock fans, if they haven't heard about Aaron Crawford and Cascade Country, learn them, man. What's going on with what you do?
Yeah, so I mean, the first thing you think about when you think of country music usually is Nashville, right? And, you know, I've gone to Nashville, I've recorded in Nashville, thought about moving there a few times, but just talked to some people and just said, hey, man, there's like 500 people getting off the bus every day here. Just go home and build an empire. And we almost moved to Texas at one point because it's weird. It's like there's the Nashville sound of country, which is kind of what you hear up here. If your fans are probably just clicking through the country station. You'll hear that, and that's Nashville. Then Texas sound is a little bit more indie, I would say. Okay. And they have their own sound, and those guys are just kind of like planted in Texas, and they're just staying there. And so we almost moved down there to try and be a part of that. And then I just thought, why can't we do it here? Why can't we just stay here, keep building it? And so that's really where Cascade Country came from.
Yeah.
It was like, if we treat it with respect, and we do it and we make it about what we really think and feel rather than maybe what a label is telling us to do. If we can just put it out there, then maybe people like it. And so it was really like a blue collar, plant your flag, let's just get to work and see what happens. That's the thing is like I'm not afraid of working hard. Like I definitely grew up with my dad working a couple jobs and me working jobs with him, coming home from school, and then working my way through college at a job as well. So the work part is fine, but it is a little weird because it's not like a quote unquote regular job where you just kind of try and climb the ladder and there's maybe a path that's already there. And this is probably exactly what you think as well and what you've experienced. It's more like this and this and this and that, and then you just try and figure out what works for you and what, you're just like, oh, do you like this? No. Do you like this? Let's try this and let's go this way. And it's been trial and error, but a lot more positive, and really been a cool thing to see it kind of blossom. Yeah. And it just to kind of see the whole scene itself and of all the other country artists around here. I'm not claiming any part of responsibility for that, but it is kind of cool to see people not leaving as much anymore. There was kind of a wave right when I was thinking about moving. We had a few move down to Nashville, and they're doing great things down there. But I just feel like there's a lot more now here that are just like, you know what? Screw it. Let's do it. Let's build our fan base here. So it's been cool.
Yeah, man, I totally respect that because I think, you and I, we've had like off webcast conversations, about all this stuff. And I feel like we're around the same age where like when we were in high school, there's one way to do it. And the Seattle sound changed that, I guess. Like, I think we were like in middle school kind of when that happened. But it was like go to LA. But before, at that time with people who were like in their 20s and 30s when we were teenagers, that was like the one way to do it.
There's only one way.
There's only one way to do it. And there's no internet. And you're making cassettes and you're handing them out at shows and you're trying to be part of fanzines and all that stuff. I always feel like people of our age group, we have like one foot in the old school way of doing things. And then we have one foot in the new school way.
Oh, man, that is so true. So my wife and I share a lot of duties in this business. And it's really funny because we'll go to do it. I'll go to do it the way that I'm comfortable doing it. And she's like, why don't you just do it this way with a computer? And I'm like, well, you have to remember, like when I went to high school, typing was an elective. Yeah. And like cell phones weren't even invented. And Facebook was definitely not around. So it's like I'm just like, oh, can I have a piece of paper and a pencil so I can write this list down?
the default ways of go-to, but then you just get like shook out. You're like, oh yeah, okay, I'll do this. I'll go over here.
Yeah, you're like, oh yeah, but then I have to put hashtags on. I'm so guilty of not using hashtags. So it's I'm terrible at that.
Yeah, I think we still got some years of adjusting to music technology, But like, when our kids come in the room, they're like, "Hey, look at my hologram!" Like, bloop bloop bloop. We're like, "Dude, I don't know about this. I'm gonna try." But hey, I think we've got some Aaron Crawford fans writing in here. The Murray Life here. Hey, Aaron, thanks for all you do to be there with your fans. We see you more than our own family these days. We appreciate you. So I don't know if on your end, but she wrote you here. Thanks, Melissa, for writing in.
She's awesome, man. She's done a couple of those 10 for 10 concerts that we've talked about.
Oh, yeah.
And some other things. So she's been really cool. Been awesome. Cool.
I definitely want to come back to that because I want to hear like how you are staying active. And you kind of gave us your origin story already as like a Cascade Country Avenger, I guess you should say. But like, what is your like? Why did you start writing songs? I think this is so interesting talking to people about like why you started and what age were you when you got your guitar, and is it a formative years, perfect situation, or a later thing, or how'd that go for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'll try and compress it a bit, but I mean, growing up, I definitely was. Both my parents and back to my grandpa were musicians, and a lot of it in the church. So growing up in that, I was singing in choir. I picked up drums as my first instrument.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I'm not really a drummer now. I definitely, Jeff and Ducey would definitely say I'm not a drummer now. Anytime I have to try and sound check their stuff, they're like, no, man, just get
Like,
somebody
please
else."
don't do that. Please don't do that.
Yeah, exactly. So I started doing that, and then from there in community college, met with some guys and started a band, and then started another band after that, and then after that, went to college and did choir and did a lot of like church music stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I joined a country duo, and that was Crawford and James. I don't even know if you know that part.
No, what was it called
So
again? Then what?
Crawford and James. So
Okay.
a buddy of mine who actually produced the song that you just played the video,
Okay.
Josh Olson, but his stage name was Josh James. He actually lives in Denver now, runs $1 million studio there. He's doing great stuff.
Wow.
So he and I went out, and one summer we did 160 dates just across the Midwest. But it's not as glamorous as it sounds, because those were I like to call them residencies, because that sounds cooler than it actually was. Even we would show up to a bar in Minot, North Dakota called the Rocking Horse. We'd pull in Sunday afternoon, set up sound check, and then Monday through Saturday night we would play 4 hours every night.
Really?
Running our own sound system, bringing our own sound system.
Yeah.
We would show if there's an empty stage.
Yeah.
And then you would pack it up, and there was a booking agent who would book this. You'd pack it up Sunday morning, drive to the next place, and then do it again Monday through Saturday night.
Wow.
A lot of memories and a lot of crazy experiences and a lot of kind of lessons, I'll say. A lot of things that I do the way I do now stems from kind of that long summer.
I'm sure it does, man. Because I mean, when you play, like, I know you play way more often than I do. Like, you're playing, like, before all this stuff happened, I feel like you were playing like 4 or 5 nights a week regularly.
I think we average about 100 a year.
Holy
So obviously, like, summertime is way busy, especially with all like the city fairs and stuff. You'll get like a Tuesday and a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then sometimes we'll get double header on a Saturday. The winter months tend to slow down a little bit to like 1 or 2 a week. Maybe you get an off week. But yeah, for me, it's just like if you're not playing, you're not making money. So it's just I got to do it.
Taking it seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because when you play, like you're saying, like if you play 4 nights a week, that's so many at bats. That's so many, like, people don't get it unless you do it. Like, that's so many opportunities to see what works, what doesn't work, what goes wrong, what business dealings you see that don't work for you, business dealings that you're down with, way people treat their bands. I mean, and it's just like, it's just so many. That's your 10,000 hours, man. I mean, you got a long time.
Oh man, that summer was a master class, man. I remember one time it was like I had $7 a day to actually survive on, because I had budgeted out how much, because we weren't making anything. They would pay you what you would hope to get for like a nightly show. Now they would pay you that for the whole week, and then you got to drive to North Dakota from here, and that that's a stretch, man. Montana's really long. So
is that like early 20s stuff?
What's that?
Was that like early 20s stuff?
No, I think it was like 31, 32.
Yeah.
So just getting out there. I mean, we played at this place, and I mean, you'd see like bikers and cowboys just like bashing each other in with pool balls, because there's pool tables in the back, and you're still singing. You're just like, oh God, please don't come up here. And you'd sing your heart out for 4 hours, and then at the end, like a cute girl would come up, and you'd be like, oh man, this is cool. She's gonna be into it. She'd be like, hey, why don't you play a good song, and then leave. And you're like, I just played 4 hours. Like, what do you want from me?
That's like one of those things like in the South, you just like, bless your heart. You know what I mean? Like, what else can you say? What else can you say? The person that's going to come up to you and say that, you're like, there's nothing else to even.
There's nothing, I have nothing for you. You and I are different people. Yeah, when people say they've paid their dues, I'm like, no, you haven't. No, you haven't. You think you have.
I've been on TikTok for like a week, man. TikTok. TikTok.
yeah, exactly.
That's my new app I'm running. Hashtag TikTok. Get on it now. It's only me.
Can I have Aaron as my username on TikTok?
Yeah, I took it already, so sorry. I got to buy that from me. Dude, well, I've been to a couple of your shows, and the one that you were so gracious to invite me to play some of my kind of Americana stuff. The last time I played, are you still there? Looks like we froze a little bit. Oh, you're still there. Okay, good. Is that it was so cool to see you in your element, because I felt like and I think I told you this, I feel akin to what you do, like brothers and trying to pioneer stuff or trying to make something happen, right? And then I felt like when I was watching from the crowd, like the movements, not your movements, but like the parts of the show and the crowd and the characters in the crowd and the people in the crowd was like the
Yeah.
country version of my show. Like it was like there was like
That's
the
cool.
pack of four dudes who were singing your chorus with you, or like the pack of four dudes who've
Yeah.
got the Green Lantern ring on, singing my thing. And I was just watching, and I was like, this is crazy. But
Yeah, totally, man.
but I loved it, man. It was like such a great show. So you've got a new album coming out, Honky Tonk Electricity,
Yeah.
right? What's the date on that?
TBD.
DVD. Okay, I said cause I know
Yeah.
because you had a CD release show, record release show, and then that obviously had to be moved. But I didn't know like the date got moved on that too. So is there anything?
Yeah.
Where's that at right now?
So right now, it was supposed to come out May 9th.
Okay.
And essentially there was 3 waves of recording that were going to happen because I'm recording in Tampa. So the producer that I found that I really have we've meshed really well, and we're doing great. He lives in Tampa, so I go there to go work with him. And
Okay.
so we got 2 of the 3 weeks done before the whole pandemic kind of blew up. And so I got most of the instrumentation done, and then I think 3 or 4 vocals done.
Okay.
And there's still 7 more to do. So that's kind of where we're at on that. He's working on finishing the mix on those. So a few of the songs might kind of seep out over the next little bit, and then we'll just kind of see where things go, whether or not I feel like we can get out there and do something, whether he's comfortable, and if it's even a right thing to do. So that's just kind of all up in the air. So
Yeah.
the record itself, nothing. I mean, we've put out 1 song from it technically, and that song actually it'll be on the record, but originally it wasn't even meant to be on the record. I went to go hang out with him, our mutual friend John Lutzy.
Yep.
So he hooked me up with the producer Don Miggs, and so we went. The 3 of us met to write, and there was nothing planned, whatever. We're just like, hey, let's get together and write. We'll take 2 days. So we went down there and wrote a song, and it was just going so fast and going so well that he was like, jump in, man. Let's record it. Let's do it right now. So we did that, and that actually got released. So that's Wedding Day Rewind, which is actually out on digital platforms right now.
The Jam. Yep.
Yeah. And so from there, I was like, man, that was so cool. I wonder if he'd be willing to do this record. And so I talked to him, and he was on board, and it's just been a really great relationship since, and just a fun time.
I remember when you sent me the link, or I said, "How's it going down there?" You're like, "Dude, I think I wrote one of the best songs I've ever written." I think that's something like that. And you sent it to me, and you were so
It
excited.
was
And I was for Wedding Day Rewind, or you told me about. You're like, "Dude, this song is
Yeah.
nuts. Production."
Yeah.
Is nuts." And so I remember like I felt the excitement through the text that you sent me, because we had worked on a couple songs too. Like last year, we got together a couple times with John and stuff.
Yeah.
It's been super fun, and I think that's a really interesting way to do it that I've never done. Where I mean, you gather a bunch of songs that you've written, and you kind of pick like what's the record. And like what we've always done is like, okay, boom, boom, write 10 songs, do it. And that's changed recently a little bit. But how do you feel?
Totally.
What do you feel like that opportunity provides you versus like, okay, I wrote 10 songs, record? Is this new for you to come up with a huge batch of songs and then pick, or how does that work?
This is definitely the largest crop of songs that I've ever had to choose from. Usually it's like, hey, we need 2 more songs. Let's write them. And they're just going to go on the record regardless.
Yeah.
But I was definitely inspired by the way, whether or not that's the sound that I'm aiming for, but they treat it very business-like. Just like, hey, this is what we're going to do. And so they'll just write. And then even I was watching a Coldplay documentary, which is one of my favorites. And it was so great. And they were asking him, well, how many songs do you think you write before you get one that goes on an album? He's like, 10 to 1. And I was like, oh my gosh, wow. Okay. So, let's go. And so I think after the last record that came out, which was Hotel Bible, that one, there was, I want to say there was like 3 or 4 extra songs that didn't make it. I thought, what if I shot for 50? What if I shot to write 50 songs and I got it down to like 10 or 11?
Yeah.
And I think I made it up to like 38 or 40.
Geez, like, dude.
Yeah. So when you're playing 100 shows a year, like getting, and like having a life and an almost 2-year-old, it's trying to get those in and all that stuff it's a little different. But so I feel proud about it. Definitely went through, and my wife and I had a listening session where all these voice memos and Sorry, I went back there. It looked like it got disconnected.
You're fine. You're good.
So
Yeah,
all these voice memos of songs and just like, okay, this song, what about that? Okay, this song is kind of the same as this song. So which one's the better one? Chuck the other one. And, they're never all gone per se. I mean, you see a lot of artists that just, the next album, they're like, hey, this is the song that didn't make the last record, but, it becomes very popular for them anyway. So it's tough for sure to like leave those ones aside. But the crew of songs that we have now, I mean, you mentioned the title song. That's the song that we wrote together, Honky Tonk Electricity.
that was fun. Yeah.
I mean, it was a blast. And, that was a hard song for me to write. I think we were struggling. We were working hard. And then John had to leave. And then we were writing a song about how Honky Tonk is so full of energy. And I remember at one point you're like, so tell me about it. And I was like, what do you mean tell you? And you're like, I've never been.
That's not my thing, man. I know.
Yeah, it totally makes
cool.
sense. But I was like, and so then, I mean, there's probably a few Little Red Hen people that are watching now. So I was essentially trying to describe the Little Red Hen to you, which in itself is different than a honky tonk in Texas. So I've been to honky tonks in Texas where there are like 2,000 people. There's a mechanical bull in the middle. There's
In the middle?
In the middle, yeah, it's crazy.
Dude.
And then there's people. There's 8 different bartending spots, and it's just nuts, right? And everyone's in cowboy hats and like pleated pants and like starched white shirts, but that's not how it is in Seattle. In Seattle, it's like somebody in a mohawk and jean shorts could be standing right next to someone who's fully decked out in Wrangler, standing next to a punk kid. But everyone's getting along, everyone's having a good time. It just looks a little different in Seattle than it does in Dallas or Austin. So it was just really cool to kind of work through some of that and just hit it a little different approach.
Totally. And how you just described your show is kind of how I felt. I mean, the honky tonk and the larger ones you're saying, that's how I felt when I went to your show. It's like people got dressed up, man. I mean, it's like one of those parallels for the Nerd Rock thing where it's like where I got like people dressed up as like Green Lantern and Princess Leia. Like you had like dudes with some crisp Wranglers on, man, and some crisp shirt. And I was like, this guy came to play. Like these people are here. And I also felt like it's like, obviously there's not many opportunities, I think, to see country here as there is in somewhere it's like Texas or Nashville. So I think when people come out, like it's an event, and I think it's like really cool and smart that not only are your shows good, but it's like an event. It's like a meeting of a culture that doesn't get to express itself very much.
Right. Yeah.
Around here.
It's true.
Yeah.
And
so
I mean that show we're in the final stages of mix down on that show because we recorded that live.
Oh yeah.
So that's going to be coming out here probably, I don't say, in the next week or two. I think Sean, who was mixing that down, sent me some mixes. I was driving back from Eastern Washington today. So he was sending me some mixes I'll probably listen to either this evening or tomorrow.
Cool. Right on. We got some comments here coming in from you. Ruben Atienza, I believe he's referring to your amount of songs you wrote. That's an unreal amount of creativity. I would agree. That's a lot of shit. Aaron Williams, woot woot. Hey, Aaron.
Hey, what's up?
Shout out to Aaron. And Jim Ring, he goes, love Northwest Country. I've been supporting Northwest Country bands, the music, and the Bay concert series for years now. Everybody in Northwest should do the same. I agree.
And that's cool, man. Thank you. Appreciate that support.
That going. Keeps the scene going.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we've got one more comment here. Kim Graham says, hey, nice to see you. Let him play. We're going to do that. Don't worry, Kim. We're going to do that. One more question here, kind of talking about the way our scenes parallel. Is you're a dad to a young kid as well. And I know my answer on this, but how has that changed the way that you do things, if it has, both from like a writing standpoint and a touring standpoint and where am I going to get this energy from standpoint and everything there? Yeah,
it is. I don't know, and you would probably echo this sentiment. I don't know if you can quantify how much it changes it, because I constantly think of you and I and the people that are kind of similar at our, I'll just say, level of whatever.
Lucy.
Yeah, just kind of where we are. Just just those bands and those other artists. I view us as like AAA. So it's like, there's the majors who you hear on the radio, and then there's the people who are starting out. But I feel like we're AAA. Like, we're paying the bills, some of them, if not all of them, off of what we do. And so you don't have a tour bus and a nanny, or, you can't. Yeah, there's no nanny. You're the nanny, and then you go sing. Or your wife is the nanny, and she's selling merchandise with a baby on her hip, which is that's not a metaphor. That's literal.
That really
she has
happens.
literally set up. Oh, absolutely. She has set up the playpen right next to the merchandise, and she's like, "Yeah, don't mind him. What shirt do you want?"
That's bad. Awesome.
It's making it work. I mean, and to be honest, it's not just an adjustment for me because for my stuff, it's pretty much 50-50. She works just as hard as I do. So it's trying to really find the balance. It's like she even jokes all the time. She's like, you know what? I'm really the business, and I just contract you to sing and take pictures afterwards.
Dance monkey.
Yeah, I feel that way sometimes. No, but honestly, so that has been the greatest challenge, but also the greatest reward is finding how do you sometimes kind of pull your head out and say, okay, it's not just about me going out and like thinking around on my guitar. Like she needs to do some things. She needs to create some merchandise. She needs to make some posts and make some flyers and some designs and communicate with the merchandising people. And how do I let her do that? And then how do I remain creative? And then how do I do the center app like you were doing? Because that's something that I did as well with the Chris Hemsworth stuff. And so you're just constantly juggling. And then not only that, she works a part-time job as well. So you're doing that, and then you're like, okay, so this week I play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday night. Which of those are you coming to? Which of those are you going to watch the kid? Which of those are we going to have a grandparent come to? Which of those are we going to have a fan watch the kid? Yeah. And it's like, man, but then it's like, we don't work in a cubicle. We're our own bosses. We can do within realm. Used to at least do what we want to do. Now it's a little bit different, but yeah, it's a struggle, and it's just a constant learning process of trying to figure out how to juggle it. But I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, pros and cons, man. Gift and the curse of all things, right? Just the balance of all things. It's like, I agree with what you're saying. It's like whack-a-mole. It's like, okay, this week 4 shows. Oh shit, I didn't work out. Okay, drink water. Okay, do all these things. And one of my favorite shows the past year was the finale show of The Slants, which is an Asian American rock band people might have seen featured on The Daily Show, and they went to the Supreme Court to earn the right to carry the trademark to their name, which was put out in the realm of positivity and not in a negative connotation. It was like a 5-year Supreme Court battle. They won, and they did their final show. And their lead singer, Kenny Shea, he just had a 3-month-old or a 4-month-old, right? But he went up there and did the best show he's ever done. And when he got off the show, I turned to his guys and said, do you know how hard that is? Do you know what he just did? Like, it's like to have a 3-month-old at home, man. Come on now.
Yeah, that's impossible.
Yeah, I was like, brother, respect on that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so I get you, man. Dad life's a real thing, and I think it's cool. Like, the pictures that you always post on Instagram of your little dude, like at shows with you, and he's got the cans on. I mean, that's something I'm envious of because Katinka's never worn the cans. She's like, get them off me. It's like, well, then, I was like, well, then you can't be at the show. She's like, that's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, no, I want, please.
No, it's not okay.
It's not okay. Yeah, I'll give her shit about that later on. But she's getting a little better. Last show she did, she ran around. She's like, that's my dad. As I was doing a song about butts that do math. Kirby Krackle.
Oh my gosh.
That's so they're like, and you're proud of that? I don't know. So can we get some songs out of you, man?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Let's see here.
Yeah, what are you going to play for us here?
I'm taking a look at my list and just kind of seeing what will work well. This one always goes over well, and one of my favorites to play. It's just high energy. You talk about the energy and trying to constantly bring it. It does get daunting sometimes. But that's the job, right? I mean,
that's the job. Aaron Crawford.
Yeah, and there's a lot of times everybody else is going to whatever job they have, and they're like, "Man, I hate being here," and I'm drinking 14 cups of coffee to try and get up to where I need to be. So it's just I think that's you and I share that same thing where it's like, man, just punch in. Yeah. Punch that clock, get to work, and do it, and no excuses.
All right, full screen. I'll make you full screen here, baby, Mr. Aaron Crawford. Take it.
Yes. All right, this song is called Hurricane. If I hadn't seen it, I wouldn't have believed it the day that I met you. Pretty little green eyes hair, do you look right fine in your cowboy boots? Damn, I know you're the kind of girl that can make me come unglued. Every rose has its thorns, but you got more than your share, and that's the truth. And you took my soul and you won't away, but you keep on telling me no, you're a hurricane trying to put me in the ground. But you swing those hips and just like damn, you got me spinning round and around. This ain't the kind of thing I've been looking for a ring, cause you told me from the start that you're looking for a man, if you know what I mean. Ain't talking about your heart, but you walk that way and you talk that way. So what am I supposed to say? Just show up at my door at 2 a.m. and tell me that you wanna play. You took my soul and you won't let go. I tried so hard just to walk away, but you keep on telling me no, you're a hurricane trying to put me in the ground. You swing those hips and just like them, you got me spinning round and around. You're like the raw side of a bad deal. You're like the broken side of bruised. You got me wrapped around your finger, little girl, and we both know that there's nothing I can do. And you took my soul and you won't let go. I tried so hard just to walk away, but you keep on telling me no, you're a hurricane trying to put me in the ground. But you swing those hips and just like them, you got me spinning round and around. Round and round. Thank you very much. Thanks, dude. Absolutely. I'll do whatever you want. We got all the time in the world, man. All right, sounds good. I'll say this is one of my newest singles out, and I think there's a little redneck in everybody, and I feel like this situation is the most redneck of situations that we're all in right now. So this song is called Redneck Situation. No need to wait for the weekend, nothing wrong with Tuesday night. Crank that hose wide open, break out that slip and slide. Stop by 7-Eleven, grab yourself a rack. Don't waste your time with the front door, just make your way on back. Ain't no one, I just jump inside my above the ground little oasis. The water's clean, but it kinda leans, cause it's used on a regular basis. 4 feet deep, but it's alright if you wanna use some flotation. Got ourselves a redneck situation. There's sunscreen out by the cooler, just drop that beer on ice. Go make yourself a burger, grill it up just like you like. Or hang around till the sun goes down and cut on the Christmas lights. Picking 6 strings out by the bonfire, have a backyard open mic. Ain't no water slides, just jump inside my above the ground oasis. The water's clean, but it kinda leaks, cause it's used on a regular basis. We're out here cause we work too much and we can't take a vacation. Got ourselves a redneck situation. Ain't no water slide, just jump inside my above the ground oasis. The water's clean, but it kinda leans, cause it's used on a regular basis. Little lemonade in a cold Coors Light, crank up that country station. We got ourselves a redneck situation. We got ourselves a redneck situation. Got ourselves a redneck situation. Thank you very much. Thank you, man. Thank you. I think that'd be awesome, man. You should do it. Always. So we're 2 for 2.
Hear me. There we go. Hey, that's the one time. I got one every show. Now you can hear me. Thank you very much. Hey, we got Aaron Crawford here. We're going to play one more game. We're going to play this thing called Cookie Cage Match, all right? We play this with my grandma and that Grandma's House song. We're talking about different cookies and stuff.
I love cookies, by the way. I'm in.
Okay, I figured you'd be down for this. And thanks for letting me know we don't have any audio. I appreciate the guys for helping there. There we go. Okay, so we're going to do a couple of rounds. It could be like an NCAA bracket style. I'm just going to let it go here. Just trust your heart here. Chocolate chip or butterscotch?
Chocolate chip.
All right. Oatmeal or snickerdoodle?
Snickerdoodle.
Oh. Okay. No bake or meringue?
I think I'll go no bake.
Oh. Oh, snap. Okay. Peanut butter or ginger snap?
Peanut butter.
Okay. There we go. Here we go. Man, people are excited about this cage match thing. I didn't think this was going to be a thing, but people are like, it's back. It's back, baby. Because I'm 95 too. Okay, next bracket. Here we go. Chocolate chip or snickerdoodle?
Chocolate chip.
No bake or peanut butter?
Peanut butter.
BB. I'm making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every freaking day here, man. We got a song that goes, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. PB&J. PB&J. I don't know. I'm working on it. All right, final round here. Air horn. Chocolate chip or peanut butter?
Chocolate chip.
Oh, dude. 2 for 2 on chocolate chip. I did another air horn on that.
I mean, it's classic. You can't mess with chocolate chip.
I know. I don't even know if I should even put chocolate chip on here. Well, it's part of the thing.
We had chocolate chip. Like today, we went over to Chelan because her folks have a house over there. So we maintained our quarantine. We just went from house to house and hung out there, and then had a pickup from the bakery over there. And it was a chocolate chip cookie.
I love that. I love that, man. You know, Laura1317 says, put those together. I think he's referring to my grandma and you. And you guys can just take this whole thing over.
Yeah, you know what? Let's get rid of you. Let's bring grandma on.
I think it's, I don't even need to be here. I don't need to be here.
I think you just became the producer / engineer, and you got Can as the host.
That's fine with me, man. I still can't even believe I learned how to do this. I don't know. I think this was like so challenging a month ago, but I think just I had no choice. I had to do something or I was gonna go crazy.
Dude, I'm so impressed with you because I'm just like, I'm over here like guerrilla warfare. Like I have an iPad as a camera. I've got a light hung on the wall. But I have to say, so like you were talking about before you get me out of here, like you were talking about coming to a show of mine and seeing like, so I went to your show. I think it was the High Dive.
That was a High Dive, yeah.
And that was the first time I'd seen you perform. We'd already written together, and we talked and all that stuff. And
yeah.
So I went, and I was like, man, this is really cool. And you did a great job. And then I went to the bathroom, and I came out, and then you played Wakanda Forever. And I about lost my brain. I was so excited. Like, I almost jumped on the stage and just started just, like, moshing people.
It's Good to Be the King, that one?
Yeah, oh my gosh, dude. I was like, how is this not the biggest song anyone has ever heard? It was like, I've had, like, I think 3 reactions like that. I saw Prince, the Key Arena, and I just was like out of my mind, out of my show. I think this is amazing. I saw Muse at I think it was Infest at White River.
Yeah.
And then also Audio Adrenaline. And yours was like right up there where it was just like, ah!
Thanks, man. Someone told me one time that sounds like a boxer entering a ring.
Yeah,
it's so funny. Like that's the one people dance to, and they're like, "Do you have any more songs like that?" I go, "No, I should write some."
It's seriously so good. Every part of it, the groove is great. If you haven't heard that song, you need to go look it up.
Good to Be the King. Hey, if if 500 people stream it tonight, I get 2 cents. So
hey, there you go.
Keep the arts alive. Hey, man, before we get you out of here, I want to talk to you a little bit about besides on Instagram. That's your Instagram handle right there. People can see it. I want to talk about this 10 for 10 thing you have going on because you, out of any of us, I think, are hustling hard on keeping the performance and the reaching the fans lifestyle that you've done for so long, and it's truly awesome. And I'm going to pull this graphic up here if you want to talk to people about what 10 for 10 is.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think everybody kind of probably went through and is still going through different stages of depression, anxiety, or whatever because of this. And a certain level of that hit me because for me, my entire life is like jumping in the Sprinter van, hooking up the trailer, go pick up the dudes, go play a show. And for me, like my favorite part of the show is interacting with the fans and giving them something. Like honestly, if I'm not ever famous, I don't care. Like I'm paying the bills, I'm happy. But so all of a sudden it went from like I don't get to play music, and even like Facebook streams, like those are great, but it's like good job, Aaron, and it's like you don't even hear it, you just see it come across, and I was like, how do we fix this? And so Carrie, my wife, I call her First Lady Crawford, she came up with this idea. She's like, well, what if we did a Zoom concert and we limited the amount of people so we could either do public ones or private ones, and so it's 10 for 10. It's $10 a person, a maximum of 10 people in the room, so 11 including myself. Similar to what we're doing here on a Skype call, but it's just with the Zoom conference meeting. And so I sit, and when you buy a ticket, you get a chance to make a couple selections for requests, and then come in and hang out. And so I play a song, and everyone pops off a mute and just says, "Hey, you suck, but we paid for the money anyways." So no, it's honestly it's a great time. Everyone gets to hang out. We even have one tomorrow for I think it's Becca's birthday. So it's a private party tomorrow. So we're just going to go hang out together and do that. And just been a really cool way to play and see people's smiling faces and have them say thank you and have me be able to say thank you for hanging out with me and allowing me to continue to play music with you guys. And so it's just it's been a really cool thing.
Yeah, it's super impressive, man, how you pivoted doing what you are doing and taking it to the people in a different way, like we all have to figure out how to do right now. And I know you said what I think is also really cool is your what's it called 6 foot concerts or what's that called that you're doing?
We're trying to find the catchphrase. I think we tried 6 foot singer, but that's like it felt like saying I was 6 foot. But we're doing 6 foot singing.
You're not 6 feet
so
tall?
It's like I'm like 6'1", and a half. So
that's why I was like, hey Aaron, I want to talk
to you. Yeah, right. I'm always standing on my tippy toes. No, so that's one thing we thought, okay, well, if there are some businesses that can stay open and do their thing. If we can maintain the proper guidelines. And so like I mentioned earlier with the Sprinter, so I've got a van, I've got all my stuff, and I can roll up to a driveway, and you could be 20 feet away from me. And we never have to touch, we never have to get close to each other, but I can roll open my van door, I can put out some cool Christmas lights, and I can plug into my speaker and play a show and hang out with you guys for 90 minutes. And just if that works for whoever, if people like it, if they don't, it's cool. It's like you said, we're really just trying to figure out every different way that we can think of to do these. We've even talked about doing, and you're probably like this. I hate giving away secrets. I won't give it away yet. We've got another idea for like Facebook live streams. Every time I give something away, somebody takes it, so I'm not gonna
keep your secret.
Keep my secret.
Yeah, dude, I think that's awesome. Just being mobile in the Sprinter van, like I think that's killer. Like a lot of people, if you don't know, there's so many options for people like us now in terms of like battery powered equipment. I mean, lights, even these lights behind, like turn them on, turn them off, like everything's.
Yeah, the ones you turned on, you got me turned on to those things. I got a set of those too.
I think it's just like mobile and nimble and in and out. You know what I mean? It's all about how quick can you set up and tear down, and I think that's where it starts to get really fun and new for people like us who might have been doing it for a while, who may be like, I'm not a big gear junkie, but I'm in the business of like.
Yes, you are.
Well, let me say, I might be. I'm not a guitar gear junkie. Like,
there you go.
I find what I have, but I can see what you're saying. I'm like, have you heard these lights? Have you seen this stuff? You call me out. No, I've had the same amp set up. Like, John, your guitar player and our friend, he's got all these. I think he's like a pedal dude, and my guitar player is a pedal dude. And I'm like, can you just stick with the thing that we know does the thing? Can we just?
Dude, I'm with you. Well, I honestly think that's a lead singer thing because it's like we have so many other things to worry about that we're just like I remember seeing you at that show at the High Dive. You had the remote for the lights, and you were the light guy while you're lead singing. And I was like, what are you doing?
That was dumb.
How are you doing that?
I regret that because I look at the video and I'm like, it's like the first time I ever.
You're like PowerPointing. You're like, okay, the next slide.
Excuse me. Now get excited. Thank you.
No, but I mean, I'm the same as you, man. I've got my go-to guitar. I've got my Blues Junior that I've had for like 5 years. I've got the same pedals that are sitting down here underneath my desk right now. I'm like, I'm good. Let me just work on new songs and lyrics, and like I don't have time to be like, oh, the tone just needs to be a little bit better.
I know. I get worried if I'm to the place now where like my cord doesn't work. I'm like, I guess I'm done being in a band. So sorry. I don't have the time to figure this shit out. Like, dude, just borrow my cord.
I'm no longer a guitar player. I'm just a singer.
Thank you.
Well, this battery died. Well, screw it. I'm over it.
You guys got to go home. So sorry. All right, Cozy Pants time, everybody. Dude, thank you very much for coming on and being my second interview. Maybe next time I'll get a 60-year-old. We'll just kind of bridge the gap between 90. I won't go so far one way.
Diversity, man. Diversity.
Yeah, keep up the good work, brother, and thank you for your time. And people can find you, Instagram, Aaron Crawford Music. Call this man, set up a 10 for 10, bring him out to your house. He will play in the amount of time just less enough before the cops come and tell me I have to leave. It's fine. It takes a while for cops to get there. People get, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It'll be okay.
Exactly.
Right, man. I'm going to let you go and continue for a little bit here, but thank you very much.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. See you later, everybody.
Peace. Mr. Aaron Crawford. That was good times. I'm going to hang up on him right now. Hopefully he doesn't hang up on this whole thing. No, we're good. All right. Dude, how cool is that, man? Aaron's the man. He works super hard. It makes me feel like I need to work a lot harder. It's motivating, and I'm going to a different scene right here. There we go. Logo's back. It's motivating to see what he's doing. It gives me a breath of new life for thinking out of the box in some ways of performance. And I really think if you want to put your money towards an independent artist who's doing a good job and deserves to continue what he's doing, even in the harshest of climates, I totally support you guys and encourage you to donate to him. Again, Aaron Crawford Music on Instagram, 10 for 10 concerts. That's a great idea. Got a couple more things here before we go. Someone asked me earlier, let me go back to that comment here. What are you reading? What's on your pull list? I haven't been to the comic shop, obviously, lately, but my daughter got this. It's the 5-minute Marvel stories. Okay. And it's kind of like those books with the squishy sides. You can know it's 3 and up. That's how you know it's good. The art's really cool. It looks like Ryan Otley art, actually, but it's not Ryan Otley. Basically, it just goes through these different chapters that are about 10-minute reads each. And they go through all the different teams and basically put together the whole Marvel universe in a way that is cool for kids. And when you get to the end, they had formed the Avengers. And it's pretty awesome. I highly recommend it. It goes like deep cuts, like Arnim Zola and Red Skull. And again, it just looks so cool. It looks just like Ryan Otley art, of which I'm a big fan. Captain Marvel's in there. You got the Guardians of the Galaxy, Baby Groot, and Big Groot. Super cool. I highly recommend that. And I think that is getting to the end of our Quarantinecast. It's been a lot of people tuning in. It's been really fun. Again, thank you, Aaron, for checking in. We're here for a while, man. It means I'm going to be here for a while. And hopefully past that, when this whole thing is done, whatever the version of that is. I'm Kyle Stevens, a.k.a. Kirby Krackle. You can find me online at Kirby Krackle Music. If you want to send me a message, kirbykracklemusic.com/contact. I'm putting together the fan interviews. I'm still doing them. If you're watching them, being like, why hasn't this dude gotten back to me? I'm doing it. It's happening. Wednesday's my day when I'm not full-time daddy daycare. So making it happen on Wednesdays, and I'll be reaching out in the near future. Thank you guys again. Thank you for the opportunity to have an audience to do this. Thank you to my wife for watching my daughter tonight so I can do this. And I hope to see you very soon. All right. What does Grandma say? She says,
honey, you're weird, but I love you.
I love you too. Be good. Okay. Stay safe.
Honey, you're
Stay healthy.
weird, but I love you.
Stay inside.